Hi, everybody. Welcome to this webinar. I'm joined by Rick McCutcheon, Dynamics 365 MVP and social selling expert. So, without further ado, let's start off. Rick, are you?
Hi, Joel. Good
All
morning.
right, great, thanks. I just want to make sure that you're there.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, so I'll start it off, and afterwards I'll pass it over to the Rick. Okay, give me a second. All right, so for those of you who don't know SherWeb, SherWeb, we're a distributor. We were born in the cloud in 1998. We have over 5,000 partners and 50,000 organizations worldwide. We are now over 700 employees. We've got multiple data centers throughout Canada and the US. We're a cloud solution provider in US and Canada. And we have a whole list of other, some more of our achievements, so you can read through those. Let's jump over to the next slide. So as you can see here, it's mainly a resume of what was in the other slide. So let's just start and go right in the subject of our webinar today. So I guess that if you're here, you want to know more about the CRM and ERP opportunities out there, and maybe how SherWeb can help you drive more business in that sense. So let's start off with a little bit of history and what's a cloud hosted CRM or ERP. So basically, when ERP and CRMs came out, they were on premise back then and they were siloed. So they were a luxury that only a few businesses could afford. And because of the high cost of the hardware back then, licenses and IT support, not many of them could use these wonderful software. So comparing the on-premise solution back in the day to the cloud version nowadays, so Cloud CRM and an ERP is now the full software that's hosted by a provider like Microsoft that we're going to talk about. They have their own servers and it's offered as a monthly subscription. Hosting the software now means no infrastructure fees for the customers. You don't have to manage the networks, the servers. There's no maintenance fee. You just pay for the applications that you use. And it's easily accessible from any device. So that's a big change. You get access through your mobile phone, tablets, Macs, and PCs, which makes it way more easier to use than it was in the past. So SherWeb decided to take a different approach to selling these products, since you normally would need some knowledge of these products. It's not an out-of-the-box product. It's not something that you just install and go from there. It needs to be set up and configured. So SherWeb decided to take an approach and build our own expertise and reach out to expert partners like Rick, for example. And we decided to create offers that were basically, you as MSPs, you get to sell these offers, you get to sell these packages, and you don't have to reinvent your own business. So basically, there's a huge market out there. SherWeb is here to help you present these offers, so we can go on calls with you, we can work with your end customers, and actually be an extension of your sales team. We have complete turnkey solutions. This requires minor investments from you. So mainly figuring out and finding these opportunities for us and working with us. So we do most of the selling. For you as MSPs, there are high margins on these services, and it also complements your hosted services that you already offer. So as I mentioned, there's an expert partner channel that's available for all type of projects, and we'll go into that a little deeper into that a little later on. So basically what we see here, just so you get an idea, let's look at the graph on the right, because we're going to be looking at margins instead of revenues. So let's take this example for that we've put together. So if you were to add 6 new organizations per year and sell 100 license of Office 365 into each of these 6 organizations, you would get a margin of, as you can see here, about $8,000. Now, going from the numbers that Microsoft provides, thinking that about 30% of these 100 seats wouldn't need a CRM. If you add that on top of those Office 365, well, we're looking at an $18,000 more of margins that you would get per those 6 per year. So adding that and looking at year 3, well, you get 40,000 coming in from Office 365 and about 93,000 from Dynamics 365, and that's not even taking into account the services and other products that come with CRM that you probably want to dive into and offer. And we're going to look a bit more into that a little later on. Rick will talk about the overall opportunity of CRM. So what I'll do now is pass it over to Rick, and I'll let him present himself.
Okay, Joel, thank you very much. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. Okay, good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, depending where you're located. I'm Rick McCutcheon, Dynamics 365 CRM MVP and certified sales professional. So I've been in this space for over 20 years. Mostly I automate sales organizations, but as an MVP for Microsoft, Most Valuable Professional, I get brought in to do a lot of design and architecture work on larger Dynamics opportunities. So I've got lots of experience with this, and I spend a big part of my practice teaching. So I teach through Microsoft, the User Group Association, and you'll see there's some other groups down here that I've been training with over the last couple of years. So I do kind of a twofold business. I teach end user customers how to use these technologies in their own business, but I've got probably a third of my practice actually working with partners today, and whether they're MSPs or ISVs, working with them to say, okay, how do we leverage this dynamic stack in our business and what we resell? And I've got to tell you guys, it's an exciting opportunity right now. I've been in this space for a long time, and I think the last 3 years has just been like a bumper crop for partners. It's just companies have seen these applications go what we'll call mainstream. Everybody needs one. So 10 years ago, I used to have a lot of conversations about why I need CRM. I no longer have those conversations with companies for the most part, and if I do, it's an abnormal conversation. It's mostly about, okay, we understand we need these products. How do I implement them in our companies? So it's an outstanding opportunity for any MSP right now to get involved with Dynamics, and I'm glad Joel asked me to do this session with him today. So if we can just go to the next slide. So I borrowed this one off a presentation I did with Microsoft, and it's about what we call the digital transformation, and that's what we're really going through, or we're going through as partners for sure, but businesses are going through this at a breakneck speed right now, where they're integrating into a modern workplace with business applications that are synchronized together with an application infrastructure and data and AI built in. So even the smallest companies now can take advantage of this. And Joel was, talking about even ERP at one time being really the realm of, companies over $50 million in revenue. Now it's no longer that way. Companies as small as 5 users are using all these types of applications. And I think if you're selling the Microsoft stack right now, with Dynamics, with Office 365, with Azure, especially around data and AI, some of the tools they've got coming out in the future, I think we're in a really, really good position to take advantage of this digital transformation. But you got to keep in mind that it's not a disconnected world anymore, and we don't have siloed apps. So customers that are buying Office 365 are tending to move to Dynamics 365 for many applications, and we're going to go over those applications in a minute. And that all goes back into the Azure data and artificial intelligence product groups as well. So there's lots of opportunity here for us. Okay, Joel. So when I talk about, transforming businesses, and I do sales enablement, but it's really looking at how do we build internal business systems to manage our ecosystems. So this is more for our end user customers saying, okay, I've got all these customer facing, channel facing, distributor facing, constituent facing systems out there. How do I pull them all together? And especially once we have social platforms involved with this, it becomes very difficult for companies now to really communicate with their customer bases. So that's what I'm going to talk a little bit about today, how this dynamic stack pulls this all together, and then the opportunity for partners to get involved. Next slide. So ecosystem, I love the way Rosabeth Moss-Cantor, a professor at Harvard, talks about it. She says that ecosystem conveys the idea that all the pieces come together in your economy, right? So everything that you do is part of your business economy. And we can think about this as an MSP, or we can think about this as our end user customers. A lot of pieces, a lot of communications. So she says, think about it as your garden where you need fertile soil, seeds, and other ingredients to make it grow. And really, that fertile soil is really technology. What technology can we pull together to make our ecosystem thrive? And we're really going to see in the future, companies that make it through the digital transformation will continue to grow, and we're going to see companies that don't make it through the digital transformation start to slow down and eventually sort of sunset themselves. Okay, next slide. So who's in our business ecosystem? As partners, we have all these people in our ecosystem, so do our customers. So one of the things that I'm going to come back today to the MSPs on this call is, what are you using in your own business? Are you using Dynamics? Are you using Business Central? What do you have on your back end? How are you managing your relationships, let alone how are your customers managing their relationships? So everybody has customers, prospects, channel partners, supply chain, contractors, vendors, and other types of suppliers. So a lot of people needing information about our business and helping it grow. And from a company perspective, who's involved with this digital transformation? So my sessions that I do are really focused on customer relationship management. So even when we think about customer relationship management, and it used to be just siloed over to the sales team, like CRM used to mean leads, accounts, contacts, and opportunities, and how do we manage those? And then we used to have the argument, well, we do it in spreadsheets today, and that works fine for us. But it's no longer that anymore. It's really anybody involved in our ecosystem and anybody that's facing outside people and having relationships with outside people need to be part of this. So when we do Dynamics 365 customer engagement, that's what we call CRM now, we do this type of project, these are the types of people we're interfacing with. C-level executives, CEO, CIO, CMO, CFO, who need better information to manage their business going forward. It's great in the old days where we have an accounting system be able to tell us what we did the last quarter, the last year, but savvy C-level executives really understand the fact that I need to look forward where we're going. That's what we can give them. Of course, traditionally, sales and marketing depend on this and depend on it more than ever. So I do a series of sessions on, and I did one at the Innovation Factory at McMaster University yesterday, on the digital transformation of selling. The way customers buy from us today has completely changed over the last 10 years in a B2B setting. That is happening for our customer base as well. They're going through this. Customer service, all part of Dynamics. Everything here is all part of Dynamics. Customer service, how do they manage their customer issues, their customer interactions, so on and so forth. They need a system for that. Do they have people in the field, and are they connected with these systems? Are they having professional service teams? Are they connected with these systems? Is their supply chain and operations connected to these systems? So, they can see if a customer service issue has arisen and which supplier is dealing with it. Product category management people, what products are we having complaints about? What products are selling well? How do we manage? Human resources. Huge part of Dynamics is our new human resources module, and how do we manage the people that work for us. And overall, information technology people are now looking for single platforms to be able to manage all these components. And really, this is what Dynamics gives to people. The ability to take that Office 365, take that accounting software in the back and pull it all together. So I won't go over this in detail, but these are the modules we work with every day in our Dynamics practice. Myself, I concentrate on these top three: sales, customer service, and marketing. And that's just the world I came out of. But I know several other partners that are making tremendous businesses out of field service, project services, finance and operations, which is the accounting side, talent, which is the HR side, and Business Central. I just want to point out that in the Dynamics world, you'll see there's a thing called finance and operations and another one called Business Central. Finance and operations is the AX product, the heavyweight accounting system that they moved to the cloud is now called finance and operations. And Business Central sort of came out of that NAV world. So it's sort of that mid-market SMB type accounting system. So if it's a smaller business, we offer it Business Central. If it's an enterprise type business, we offer it finance and operations. But for either side business, all these other modules stay the same. Okay, Joel? So when we look at this diagram, and I love this picture when Joel suggested that we bring it up here, is this is what the Microsoft customers are looking for today. And you know, every week I talk to a customer that's moving off a siloed platform and bringing in one of those modules into their Dynamics world. And you see down at the bottom left, we have a thing called Power Apps, Microsoft Flow, and Common Data Services. Those today and in the future are going to be the connections to all the applications that run a business. So if you're an MSP and you haven't really got up to speed on those three areas, I would go and go to partner source, or SherWeb's got some partner education portals up there that you can look at, or get out on YouTube and watch some videos. But look at the power of these applications. I've been in a couple of partner conferences lately, and any sessions to do with those three, Power Apps, Flow, or Common Data Services, have been absolutely packed. And even from a customer base, the customers we have now are looking at these applications because they're really changing the game and moving Dynamics to the next level. And when I say Dynamics, it's really the Microsoft cloud to the next level, and giving this our abilities to, Office 365, Cortana, Dynamics, Azure, all sort of working together.
And I'd like to add on that, this is where Microsoft really differentiates itself from its competitors. So they have all of these software working together and making sure that we're not siloed anymore, and information flows freely between all of these apps as more as than what the competition has to offer. And Microsoft has created a really nice ecosystem.
And on that, there's a lot of standalone applications that have greater functionality in areas like project services or retail or marketing within this scenario. But the advantage over Microsoft is they're making these products better all the time. It's really the Common Data Service, that this information is going to be in one central database and allows us to report on it. It allows us to synchronize it, and it allows us to share information better than any other platform on the market today.
Yeah, and what's great about this graphic is that it kind of shows where the whole process starts and ends. So you can go from marketing to sales and just actually have your customer go through a full customer journey. And that is great because you get a 360-degree view of your customer, and you can better tend to what he's looking for.
And I just want to put it out there that I'm working with several partners right now, helping them implement this into their own businesses. So from a webinar today, I think you really have to look at your own business and say, do I work like this? If not, you definitely have the tools at your fingertips to do it. And then almost secondly, how do I get my customers to understand and be able to do this? So it's a double opportunity. Okay, Joel. So the next slide is the slide I love, okay? And we talk about the opportunity for business. Now, Joel said that not everybody's going to start a Dynamics practice. Me, I wish you would all start Dynamics practice because I play a supporting role in this world, and I see how much work is out there for the existing partners. But here's the business model from Dynamics that we can make money with. So I was in Europe at Extreme 365 2 years ago, and that's the big Dynamics partner conference for a third-party company runs it in North America and Europe. And I was at a discussion at an executive exchange talking about what are the dollars spent on professional services around Dynamics. And the conversation moved to a point that what we could define was it's constant. Once you get a customer on here and on Dynamics 364, it's not like Office. You put them on Office, they stay on Office, you may get a little support from the Office perspective. It's more like, I guess, if guys have worked with SharePoint in the past, it's ongoing revenue. Like companies keep expanding and building it out. But unlike SharePoint, we've got a lot of really good modules built already that customers are implementing. So the first two here, business analysis and process design, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. That's how I make my living today from an end user perspective, is working with companies on this. I spent last week with a nice size, mid-sized company. We spent 4 days with their executive team just on business analysis and process design, moving them from an older on-prem system into Office 365, Dynamics 365, and the entire stack. What is that going to look like for them over the next couple of years? So business analysis and process design, very important. If you don't offer that today, there's contractors such as myself, and I've got a team of other people that work with SherWeb that can help you with this. Configuration and development. These products can all be configured very, I won't say easily, but if you understand how they can be configured, it's not too difficult. So, that's a big part of the business with customers, is both training them how to do it and then doing it for them. And then from a development aspect, we have this common data service that we used to call the XRM model, which in Dynamics, which is a full development platform. So if you go onto a portal called AppSource, which is a Microsoft portal, you're going to see that there's hundreds of companies that have developed third-party applications sitting on top of Dynamics, and they resell them on that portal. Big business, the fourth point, mostly around Power BI now, and that's a platform you need to understand and start to sell because, again, Power BI is a huge growth phase for Microsoft and other sort of traditional type reporting capabilities. Customers also need data services, cleaning up their data, purchasing data from third-party companies such as D&B or another one called Sales Genie, that you can go out and buy data for customers or send data out to for a service. And again, that's revenue for you. Azure, we can't even begin to talk about how much the potential is for Azure and what you can do with Azure services for your customer. We'd have a whole session on that. Integrations, Dynamics to a lot of other third-party apps. There's integration business, and I do a lot of work with mobility. There's a company, Microsoft has a native mobile platform for this, but there's also a third-party company called Resco that gives you a complete development platform you can tie on to Dynamics. Dynamics 365 has its own portal application, so you can come, tremendous business writing websites for out-facing CRM portals, we'll call them. So let's say I had a partner channel and I wanted to be able to share leads and opportunities and information with them. I could construct a portal a secure portal that they could access that through. So big opportunity there. And again, a lot of the MSPs are currently doing support. That's another support contract. I talked about third-party apps, and then ongoing coaching and training. A lot of companies today leave that on the table, but there's a tremendous revenue available for companies out there to do that on this Dynamics 365 platform. So when we look at this, this is why I use the iceberg as the analogy in the background, because the licensing and hardware sits on the top, and it's only a small piece of the ongoing revenue. Another thing Joel and I were talking about the other day is this makes you sticky, right? So, if you sell them Office 365, they can change their MSP at any time. It's much more difficult in the Dynamics world if you're embedded in helping them move Dynamics forward, for them just to switch and change, because you become a true partner in that implementation.
Yeah, and what's great when we're looking at this graphic, this slide, is that we can see that there's a lot of the spaces where MSPs can come in and make money. And if you're not able to do all of these parts, well, we, through SherWeb, through people like Rick that we've been working with for a while, we can provide part of these services to offer a complete solution to your end customers. So the great thing is you don't have to reinvent all of your business model. But down the line, when you start doing part of these, what we're seeing on the screen, you might start to go in other spaces, and eventually you might have your own Dynamics practice. But we as a team and as a team of experts, we're here to help you through this journey.
Yeah, so if you just want to sell the licenses and you want a team of experts to come and help you with this, we've got that Rolodex of experts.
Yeah. All right, next slide.
So this is just one example. So I have a website here called Planning for CRM Success, and this is where I can help. So if you have a customer just interested in CRM, how do we get started, that type of thing, that's where I can help guide them through making sort of that decision. What's the investment, the timeline? So I do that in a series of workshops. When we can have these workshops online as a series of ongoing webinars for a client specifically, or we can do an in-house workshop if they need an in-house workshop. These workshops also take on some different levels. So I can do this as an executive planning workshop where it's more at a high level, what's the investment, what's the ROI, or we can do a deep dive like my customer last week where we actually came out with a detailed project plan for the implementation. So these are now available through Joel and SherWeb. And if you need these services, please let us know, and I can support you on these types of services. So we can always sort of work with that customer to find out what they need and what's the best fit for them. Okay, Joel, over to you, and you can talk about licensing.
Thanks, Rick. So this next slide is one that's pretty interesting. What you're seeing here is the pretty much the same thing as the ecosystem we saw a bit earlier, but now what we see is the way that Microsoft sells it. So I won't go into too much details, but what's interesting is that you can see you can buy it by a plan. So let's say you have a large enterprise, you need pretty much all of the applications that are available under Dynamics 365. So you can get a plan that includes all the applications at a really aggressive price point. But then you could be going at looking at a smaller portion. So customer engagement plan, for example, which is anything that has to do with building a relationships with your customers. So marketing, service, sales. Well, there's a plan for that, or you can buy them separately. So, and on the ERP side, which is more an enterprise resource planning system, you can get a plan that includes everything, or you can go in and buy exactly what you need. So this is stuff that we can help you out. If you have opportunities coming in, we will help you sort everything out, because figuring out Microsoft's licensing is pretty much a full-time job, I would say. So we're here to help. Now, Rick was talking about Business Central. So the way that Microsoft positions Business Central, it's seen as a full enterprise managing, I would say full business management system. So within Business Central, you have all of your accounting, and you have modules for managing sales, marketing, project management. This is all available through Business Central, and we can guide you and your end customer through their needs, making sure that what we provide is the exact solution that they need. And if not, we can mix and match these solutions and make sure that we have the right product at the end. So what are the benefits of working with SherWeb, and what's our positioning philosophy? So basically, the way that SherWeb sees this product is there's a lot of features in there. There's a lot of functionalities that are needed by SMBs and small enterprises and even big enterprises. So we weeded out all that needs to be figured out, so we can go in quickly with you and help you with your sales and help you scope out these projects. So our value is pretty much that we will cover licensing, onboarding, and support. We have experts such as Rick that are brought in when we have an opportunity that makes it so that Rick's expertise will be needed. And SherWeb has been in business since 1998, so you have a huge team that is actually helping you out on these opportunities. So we're backing you up and making sure that you're having success. So why sell Dynamics 365 with SherWeb? Well, our Dynamics team is dedicated to your success. So we're happy if you're building your practice. We're happy if you're reselling our services, and we're here to help you achieve that success. We also simplify the process from A to Z. We're offering complete turnkey solutions. We're offering scoping, sales, support. We have all of these either in-house or through our channel of expert. We offer one of the highest potential partner margin for service and onboarding. We have 24/7 support. We can help you resell Dynamics 365, as I said, or build your full practice. And there's that expert channel partner that I was talking about a bit earlier. So as I mentioned, there's two ways to sell. Either build your practice or resell our services. This is something that we can go over while chatting. So we can have a call and look at what's your overall goal? How do you see yourself in 5 years? And we can help you achieve that goal, either becoming yourself experts. We can offer you guidance on how to become that expert and get certified. And we can also provide you all the service that you need, and you just need to figure out within your customer base if there's opportunities there. So our partner approach is pretty much we help you scope the project, we discover the needs with you, we refer you to the right partner, the implementation gets done, and we achieve success. Everybody wins in this type of approach. And these are SherWeb's resources that we offer to you. So we've got our partner toolbox. There's a lot of marketing material there. There's a lot of technical material. So it helps you understand the product, position the product, get new leads, onboard customers. So that's available to you as partners. We also have created a MasterClass. It's an hour of your time, and you're going to be able to easily sell and market the product. This is not something that makes you a full-blown expert on a subject, but you're able to handle a conversation and make sure that your end customer, if they're asking asking you question, you can then provide the right answers and then bring us on future calls to actually close these deals. So
Joel,
you
can I
get
just make a point that these classes are great, but there's nothing better than if you're a partner and you use the product yourself. Then you can
true.
easily talk about it.
Absolutely. So this is also something, that's a good point, Rick. This is something we can help you figure out. You might be eligible to have these solutions from Microsoft within your business without either paying for them or maybe just a small fee on a yearly basis and gives you access to some of these licenses. So we can have that chat and see if it's at all possible to set up this type of solution for yourself. And yes, you'll be way more comfortable talking about it. So we'll send out the deck. You'll have a lot of links. So you'll get the link to your partner toolbox, the masterclass, our website, blog, YouTube links. And we also provided links to Microsoft's documentation, the Dynamics Learning Portal, which is where you get to go train and afterwards get certified. And Microsoft has a great YouTube channel. You might want to go over there and see those videos that Microsoft puts up. So what would be your next step? Well, let's try to move forward together. So we'll send out the presentation, review it, give us a call if you need more information. You'll have my contact information. You'll have Rick's contact information. So it's possible for you to reach out, and we'll look over at what are the opportunities that you have. You have the masterclass that you can listen to. You can scope your own organization to see if you can use it internally. You can start identifying your own prospects and maybe build a list of maybe 5 to 10 opportunities that you think we might be able to work on, and we'll help you out. And if you want to go further with the product, build your own practice, let us know and we'll help you out. So I think we can open it up to questions. Just before we do that, I might ask Rick, would you have something else to add?
No, Joel, I think it's great. So, I always tell the partners their first step is to start using these products themselves, because I find a lot of partners don't have a good CRM system. So if you want to start using it, we can certainly help you get going yourselves with the product. But after that, every customer that you have needs these products. So if they're not buying them from you, they'll buy them from another partner, right? And if they're buying them from another partner, that other partner's probably going to go after some of those other things like the Office 365 licenses. So that's in the Microsoft world. We've got other products like Salesforce.com and NetSuite sitting out there as well that are looking at our customer base. So if we're not really bringing this to our customers, servicing our customers, it could, we could end up losing the account to somebody else who is. And I'm not trying to be negative, but it's just sort of a reality of this business.
Yeah. Going off on that, we do see it quite often that Dynamics partners are coming into accounts and actually getting all the business because they're providing more of a 360-degree offer of what people need. So by leveraging SherWeb in the back end, they get access to a lot of different products, Azure, Dynamics, Office, and we have our own products. So when these expert partners come in, well, they come in with a lot of expertise and a lot of tools that makes it interesting for customers to move over to these experts, Dynamics expert partners. So do we have any questions?
So Joel, is the chat box open?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So if anybody wants to chat, do you want to unmute people if there's any questions?
Okay, so we do have questions coming in through the the written questions.
Okay.
One of them is, what's the overall growth of this market?
The overall growth of the market over the last few years, the overall CRM, I'll call CRM because I'm not an ERP guy, but it's over. I think it's at a rate of about 20%. I think that we're seeing Dynamics grow at similar rates to the overall market.
Yeah, so this is one of the largest growing market out there, such as Azure also.
Yeah, it's busy. Every Microsoft Dynamics partner I know is running at capacity right now. There's as much work out there for any partner, and I'm talking North America wide, as they can go after, it seems.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Someone else was asking if our pricing is similar to what Microsoft's offering. The answer is yes. We do provide pricing that's competitive with Microsoft offers, but we do offer a lot more through our support to our channel of expert partners, and we also have a partner to partner approach, which means that we can bring in leads, and these leads make it very, I would say, a more profitable business at the end of the year. Any other question? Let's see. There's one. How long has SherWeb been in the Dynamics business? So ever since Microsoft brought in the Dynamics 365 product, so back in 2016, SherWeb jumped right in. We started building relationships with a lot of people in the market, such as Rick, for example. Rick was one of our presenters at our own Accelerate show 2 years ago, 2017.
Yes.
So we bring these experts and making sure that these people are in front of our partners and making sure that the partners know how large is our, I would say how large is our panel of experts. A lot of them have different expertise. Rick was talking about finance and operation a bit earlier. That's a business on its own. So these expert partners have experience in AX, which has been around for a long time and has now moved on to the cloud. So when we bring these partners in, you can be sure that we're there to help you close these opportunities. Okay. Anything you want to add, Rick?
No, I think that's it. It's really, if there's any partners out there that have an opportunity, I think working through a couple of these opportunities with us is, the way to get started, and they'll understand, what piece of this business they want to get involved with. And the business is happening out there. I just, I'm really positive and hyped about it right now. And I think it's a great opportunity really for any partner, whether you're getting in at the level just to sell licenses, or if you really want to think about building a practice. And if you want to continue a conversation about building a practice, absolutely get a hold of Joel and we'll set up a call. And I'll tell you what you're going to need going forward to build your own practice.
Great. And the last thing that I want to add is that pretty much every business out there right now is looking at customer engagement, making sure that their customer base is getting a great experience by working with them. And what Microsoft has done with Dynamics 365 is provide you with the right tools to offer these experience, monitor them, make better decisions based off the data that's coming out of it. So now's the time to jump into these type of products and offer it to your end customer base. They're looking at you as solution providers. SherWeb will be there to make sure that you are that solution provider. And yeah, that's it. Take advantage of what we offer you and look at this avenue for your own businesses. So thanks everybody. Thanks for coming in and listening to our presentation. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. You'll all get the deck. Reach out to us, and we'll gladly help you and provide you with the right expertise.
Yeah, and everybody, I'm easy to find on LinkedIn. So just look for Rick McCutcheon. There's one guy that's a great big bodybuilder, then there's me. So you should be able to find me fairly easy. Thanks, everybody.
Right.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye-bye.